Hi folks, welcome to All About Real Estate. I'm Gary Hennessy from Professionals Real Estate, and this week we're going to be talking about going to look for the home that we got the finance for. You remember the last 2 weeks we talked to Richard about getting finance pre-approval before you go to look at a home. I've just finished an open inspection in this property that I'm in at the moment, and the thought struck me is the number of people, when I ask them what they're looking for, they go, oh, we don't really know, but we'll know it when we see it. Now, I don't know about you, but that to me sounds like a recipe for frustration, if nothing else. Now, I'm going to be dealing specifically with people who are buying to live in themselves, not investors, because investors have a completely different set of criteria than a home purchaser. So I'm going to be talking specifically to the home purchasers this week, and that will hopefully, we're going to suggest 4 questions that you need to ask before you walk out the door. When you're doing your homework on the internet, these are 4 questions that you need to think about before you even get up and go and look at a property. Now, I'm going to assume that you've already decided what part of Adelaide you want to live in, whether you want to be on the coast or whether you want to be in the hills, maybe the eastern suburbs, north or south, wherever it is. Let's assume for this point in time that you've already decided that and you've been to see your finance person and you've got your finance sorted, so you know how much you can afford. So where do we start? Well, the first question you need to ask yourself is this: what are the absolute non-negotiables that a house must have or a unit must have for us to want to purchase it? Now, there's probably only going to be 1 or 2, but it might be, let me give you an example. Let's say you had no transport, you didn't have a car of any sort or a bike. So you would have to be within easy walking distance of public transport. So that's a must-have. If the house is like 30 minutes from the nearest bus, then it's just not even worth you going to have a look at, because it's just not going to be practical for your needs. So first question, absolute must-haves. What does a house have to have or a unit have to have for me to even go and look at it? Now, if it doesn't have those criteria, there's no point going and looking at it. You may fall in love with a house that ultimately is not practical for you. The second question is, what would I like to have in the house? And that's going to be a very long list. That's going to be things like a shed, and I'd like a swimming pool, and I'd like this, and I'd like that. I'd like 4 bedrooms if you can get them, but 3 will do. So there's a whole list of things that you'd like to have. Now, on top of that, so that's checklist number 2, and it's worth writing these down so you can physically get it out of your mind onto a piece of paper. The third question is, what is on my dream list? Now, if a house had it within my budget and it was there and I didn't have to pay extra for it, what are the things that I'd love to have? Like, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 of those. It might be, oh, I'd love a bathroom with a spa in it. Now, it's not essential, it's not even requirement, but if it was there, that would be an absolute bonus. So you're going to have a little dream list, 2 or 3 things that if they were there for the money, you'd go, fantastic, want to buy this property. And the fourth question, is a list, or 4th list to make, is a list of absolutely do not wants. And there are going to be 1 or 2 things, like it might be, I absolutely don't want to live on a main road, I absolutely don't want to live under a flight path, I absolutely don't want to live next to a train station. Whatever it is, I absolutely don't want to live next to water. That would be one my wife would put down, because she hates water. But whatever it is, there'll be 1 or 2 things that you probably in the back of your mind you've never really thought about, but said, if it had this, I probably wouldn't be interested even if the house was perfect. So there you have it, 4 lists. Absolutely must have, would likes, dream list, and absolutely do not wants. If you have a look at every property that you look at on the internet and sift before you've left the door, your list will be shorter, but the quality of the properties that you're looking at will be much better. We hope that's a great help to you as you go looking for that dream home this week, and I look forward to catching you again next week. I'm Gary Hennessy from Professionals Real Estate, and we'll see you next week.